Welcome back to part 2 of making a spice grinder. In the previous clip, we had taken this blank combination of two different hardwoods and we trued it. We also put a hole in it for the mechanism. Now what we're going to do is work towards making a pair out of this particular combination of beautiful hardwoods. Before the cutting can begin, two things you have to do. You have to have precise measurements. And what I've done is I've taken this ruler, and you can probably make out the dark bands that I've put out here. I've identified where my high point of the pear, where its roundness is going to be in the bottom. I've identified the area of where the slope is going to come down, and then working this out. So these have to be done ahead of time. In addition, you need a pair of calipers. Calipers allow you to measure the circumference to make sure that you don't go too far. So these things have been done ahead of time. Now I will begin the process of shaping the piece.
Case, I'm using a 1-inch skew, and I'm working on rounding out the bottom portion of the pear.
At this juncture, you can now see the bevel that's starting to occur with the using of the skew chisel to round the bottom of the pear, making it similar like this. It's a rough at this particular point. Now we're going to move toward the top and start to create the neck portion. To shape the neck of the pear, I'm going to utilize the round nose scraper to remove a lot of the excess wood at this point. Putting on the mask.
Okay, so I sound a little funny. Here we go.
You can see how it's starting to narrow the neck, and I'm going to work at this for a while and I'll come back once it's in a better shape and form. As you can see, the neck is starting to form. What I'm going to do now is take a skew chisel, a smaller one, and begin to round off the top, like we had rounded off the bottom. And you can see that the top is taking the roundness of the top of the pear. Alright, I'll be back after I finish some more of this up so you can see how it shapes up. In sanding, we're just going to take our paper and work on getting the roughness out, rounding off the pieces, going through the process of getting it all looking good. The beauty of the wood is enhanced by the application of oil. In our case, we're going to use mineral oil, and at this particular point, as you apply the oil, you're going to see how it just brings out the beauty, the depth, and the texture that is locked inside of each piece of wood. So what we're going to do here is put this on first by hand, and then we're going to take, using the lathe, bring it up to a higher speed in order to infuse the oil into this wonderful piece of work. The next and final sealant that we use is beeswax. Beeswax locks in the oil, helps give it protecting seal, and we'll just apply it. The wood spins, it heats up the wax, removes it from the solid piece and applies it to the wood, so you have a good wax protection. And then we finish it up with a little bit more oil. There we go. And finish this out. And this is the layout or the final completion of the caretaking, cutting, sanding, oiling of the wood. We'll come back after we have it all put together and we'll take a look at it. We've now put all the pieces together, and our final product is a spice mill made of the Padauk, made of the white maple, functional, allows us to turn and to allow spices to be placed on our food. Well, we thank you very much for taking the time to visit us here in the workshop of Rosetta Farm Spices.